Hi friends, welcome to the Sales Masterclass. Let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Kepal Parikh and I started my sales career way back in 1986 as a frontline salesperson selling door-to-door vacuum cleaners, right? And from there I shaped my career in about 14 years and became a national head selling credit cards and personal loans. It's been 20 years that I've been in the profession of learning and development and possibly giving back what I earned over the 14 years. So I try and pour my heart out of what I've gained over the last 35 years. So that's a little about me. Let me tell you what we're going to cover in the 6 sessions that we have with each other. First, we're going to introduce you to sales. Of course, we're going to take a deeper dive and understand sales as a process. Many of us don't understand why it is a process, right? Third, we're going to evaluate the customer needs, because as long as we understand the customer needs is where possibly we speak his language. So we create a lot of value and build solutions. Fifth, once the solutions are created, naturally the customer has certain doubts. Now important is, can we take care of those doubts? So managing customer attitudes. Last but not the least, most important part of sales, closing, right? So as long as the sale is not closed, all the efforts that you and I put in are sheer waste of time. So closing is something which is very close to my heart. Right? Now, once I've closed the sale, the cycle continues, which means have I generated enough references so I can restart a call. So in today's session, what we're going to do is we're going to understand sales. Now, what is sales all about? Sales typically gets divided into 3 parts, friends. First part is called as pre-call. Second is actual call. Third is post-call, right? So pre-call preparation, actual call preparation, and post-call preparation. And today we are also going to touch upon 2 important concepts. One is suspecting, the other is prospecting, right? So let me quickly take a deep dive into it. I'm sure you will agree that all the organizations that you and I work with or are known to us, they have various functions for an organization to be what it is, right? So to start with, of course, the first function is sales. It could be legal and compliance. It could be marketing. It could be finance. I mean, the list goes on. Human resource, operations, logistics. So there are multiple functions or verticals within the organization. Question that comes to my mind is sales any different to all these other functions that you and I work with? Think. I'm sure you guessed it right? So sales is the only function, my dear friends, which is revenue generating, or it is a revenue center. All the other functions that we've just spoken about are cost centers. Now, cost centers generally spend money, revenue center is which generates money, right? Now, just imagine if no sales, no organization, there's no existence. If I don't make profits, I can still infuse some capital and make the company go on. But believe me, no sales, the company is dead. It doesn't exist, right? No sales, no organization. All the other functions that you and I work with, I'm sure you will agree, have a process, correct? Now, that brings us to a question. Does sales have a process? Think. Okay, let's take a step back. Before we know whether sales has a process or not, let's understand what's process by itself. Okay, so how is process defined? What is process? It is said it is a series of activities. And of course, these activities are conducted in a logical manner, right? Third, they ensure that they help us to get the desired results. Okay, so coming back to the question, does then sales have a process? Okay, so to understand this better, let's take an example. Okay, and I'm going to take an example of day-to-day life. And what best than this example, because all of us have experienced this. And I'm talking about cooking, friends. Let's decide to cook gajar halwa. most of the Hindi movies, you will see the best dish that comes on the table is the gajar halwa. So let's take gajar halwa. Okay. Now the question is, what do we do before we start cooking? Right? And if you have to cook gajar halwa, what is the first thing you will do? Naturally, go to the market and get some carrots. Right? Now once the carrots are in place, the next thing that you and I require is, are we ready with all the ingredients? Right? Now once the ingredients are ready, of course I require the set of utensils which are washed and ready to be used. Right? So what have we done knowingly or unknowingly? What we have done actually is called as pre-cooking activities, friends. Now of course we can draw a straight analogy saying that like the pre-cooking activities, there is something called as pre-call activities. Right? So what we are going to do is, let's understand these pre-call activities. They are also called as pre-sales. Pre-sales is a process which starts much before we meet the customer face to face. Okay? Now here the salesperson has to do certain activities. Number one, most important, gather as much information that he can, right? About the customer, of course. So gather maximum information about the customer, right? Prepare and revise the script that he is going to use when he is planning to go and sit with the customer, right? Ensure that all the sales tools that he requires when he is there in the marketplace sitting with the customer are in place. So is his sales kit ready, right? Does it have the right kind of brochures? Does it have the catalogs? Do I have the customer testimonials? Do I have enough competition knowledge? So on and so forth, right? Now, once I have done the pre-sales preparation, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an activity. Let's take a pause here. I'm sure all of you have your kits. Go back to your kit and there is a template which is available, or there is also a link that is available. You can use any of that, and what you need to do is make a huge list of pre-call activities that you and I need to do before we actually meet the customer.